Bullying, the hidden epidemic in America. The year 2020 has been a year riddled with a lot of distractions and a lot of bad things. Starting with the death of NBA legend Kobe Bryant, 2020 took a downhill turn from there on, followed by the threats of World War III, the COVID outbreak, and now the presidential election. But in the midst of all these distractions has been a topic that has been around forever and probably doesn't get talked about enough, and that topic is bullying. Growing up in Christian schools my whole life, I never experienced bullying in school as much as I saw on TV or in movies or heard about it at other schools, but that's because my schools were very outspoken against bullying. When I got to high school at Little Rock Catholic High, they had their own anti-bullying campaign the whole time, including a zero tolerance policy. So if a student bullied another student in any way, they got expelled on the spot, no second chances. This really opened my eyes about bullying, and since then it's been a topic I've been very passionate about. Did y'all know that 1 in every 5 students in America in 2019 reported being bullied? 1 in every 5. That's ridiculous. So in this speech, I'll get into three different topics about bullying, starting with cyberbullying, followed by the mental and emotional toll that bullying can take on a student, and then get into a breakdown of targets of bullies and different forms of harassment and bullying. So starting with cyberbullying, which of course is the harassment of anybody online or using text, like with social media. And so everybody's heard about cyberbullying because it's gotten way more rampant the last couple years. A 2019 report from the National Center of Education Statistics said that students ages 12 to 18 that reported being bullied, 15% of those were through online or text. It's also becoming a problem worldwide too, not just in the United States. The International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health stated that it's become way more common over the last couple of years, and from 2007 to 2018, the cases of cyberbullying doubled from 18% to 37%. That's all I have to say about cyberbullying, and so now I'm going to move on to the mental and emotional toll that students take being victims of bullying or being the aggressor of bullying. The journal Preventing Bullying, Consequences, Prevention, and Intervention states that victims of being bullied are way more likely to experience emotional distress such as anxiety, depression, self-harm, and even suicide. Suicide has become the second leading cause of death among adolescents in the United States, and most of this groundwork comes from bullying. Pacer.org reported that victims of being bullied were 2.2 times more likely to contemplate suicide and 2.6 times more likely to attempt suicide than students of non-bullying. The research done in the United Kingdom also showed that victims of bullying can take on the emotional baggage from it up to 40 years later, in some cases for life. And also, adults that were childhood victims of being bullied were also way more likely to be unemployed and poor in their adulthood. Now on to bullies target victims from many different ways, including race, religion, sexual orientation, really anything. And the biggest group that has been bullied the most has been the LGBT community. 70.1% of LGBT students reported being verbally bullied, and 28.9% reported being physically harmed. 48.7% of these victims also said they were cyberbullied. And 59% of LGBT students reported feeling unsafe at school. Also, race is a big part of a target for a bully, and the United States Justice Department reports that the Asian American community is the most bullied community in schools, and also 23.1% of African American students report being bullied because of their skin color, and 20.1% of Caucasian students report being bullied because of their skin color. And now to get into my visual aid is just a pretty simple breakdown of just some stats of different kind of harms and where those happen. So like I said earlier, 1 out of every 5 students has reported being bullied. 13% were made fun of, called names, or insulted. 13% reported that they were the subject of rumors. 5% were pushed, shoved, or spit on. 5% were excluded from activities on purpose. And then this is just a further breakdown of the locations of where these cases of bullying happen. So 43% reported in the hallway or stairwell at their school, 42% reported inside the classroom, 27% reported being outside on the school grounds, 22% reported online or text, which would fall under the cyberbullying category, 12% reported being bullied in the bathroom or locker room, and 8% on the bus. And all these stats were from the National Center for Educational Statistics 2019. So that concludes my speech about bullying. This topic has been very personal to me for most of my life, just the way I grew up in school. And I hope that this speech has turned some of y'all's heads on this topic and maybe made somebody even as passionate about it as I am. In the speech, I discussed cyberbullying, the mental and emotional effects of bullying, and a breakdown of different targets and harassments. Thank you all, and I hope that this speech opened your eyes about bullying as much as it has mine.